Vortex, I think I'm just going to talk specifically about this poster and everything that it means, okay? So a lot of people probably assume that I'm a feminist. And they assume that because I'm a non-traditional woman that has cats, I'm not married, I don't have kids, my house is a mess, I probably seem very disheveled and like a failure. I'm a failure at life. And I've done drugs, I have tattoos, I have a less than desirable body count because I used to be an alcoholic. So I've made a lot of mistakes. And I don't shave. And so, yeah, it's easy to assume that I'm a feminist for all of those reasons. But I'm not a feminist. I really can't stand feminism. And it's not necessarily because I disagree with every aspect of it. So this poster, Feminism Fights But Will Always Be There, is basically an explanation as to why it doesn't work. Women as a whole are very miserable creatures, okay? We're not satisfied with anything. If you've ever met a woman, you understand exactly what I'm talking about, okay? And if you're a self-aware woman, you definitely know what I'm talking about, okay? It's really, really difficult for women to be satisfied. And the reason for this is because we're very, very emotional people. And our emotions confuse us. Now, if we look at them logically, if we take them, this is what I've done, and I've done this all my life, but I've gotten exceedingly good at it, where I will take all my emotions and I will put them on a very, very, very long table and just analyze the fuck out of them and try to figure out why I feel a certain way about everything. If we were to do this, if all women were to do this, feminism wouldn't exist. Because I think that women would have to come to terms with the fact that they're the ones that are making themselves miserable, okay? Now, I understand that a lot about life has changed because of modernity. A lot has changed in our world. Technology has nuked the fuck out of any semblance of normalcy that we previously had, okay? Smartphones have nuked it. That's why I still have a flip phone. I practice what I preach, okay? You should try it. But I really, really hate technology because I think that it exacerbates the problems that were already there, which are because of the world. Like, full stop. I would say that most of the problems that we have are because of the world. Because modernity has, like, introduced this idea that we're supposed to be entertained and excited and happy all the time, and we're not. So the same problem that modernity caused, it pretends to solve. With TV and computers and more screens. Just more screens, more mindless entertainment, more drugs. Okay, more drugs that don't actually get you high. So, feminism is a very fine example of how stupid women are. And how they will just fall into any fucking trap that is designed specifically for them. That's what's so funny about it. It does not deliver. I don't know a single feminist that is actually satisfied. You know, like, so if you're a woman living in the West, specifically the West, and you're able to get a job and make a lot of money and do a lot of the stuff that men are allowed to do. Hi, honey. Hi. You want to be part of the video? Yeah. Of course you do. So, if you're a woman living in the West and you get a job and you can make 6 figures, you can rise to the top, you can do a lot of shit that men do, and they'll tell you, oh, you can't do it because you're a woman. That's complete crap, okay? There are so many women that are like CEOs and they own businesses and they're doctors and lawyers and all this shit. And they're not amazing because they're women doing it, you know? And feminism is like this bullshit that will tell you like, oh, well, all because you're a woman. Like, you're extra amazing. You're extra special. It's weird because, like, it's this whole, like, concept that, oh, well, women and men are equal in value, but it eats itself because women don't actually have that self-worth. They really don't, because if they did, they wouldn't have to prove anything, you know? Like, I think that feminism specifically is for women that, like I keep stating, they have to prove this to the world, but they haven't proven it to themselves, you know? So rather than get the validation from a husband, they have to get it from other women. They have to get it from, like, social changes, like policy changes. That's why all these Democrat women are, like, so inclined to, like, you know, be part of that whole, like, we're gonna change the world. And, like, there's so many women that are, like, running for office. Yeah, because they really want to destroy the country. And I get it. I really do. And there's the sick part of me that wants it to be destroyed as well. So I'm like, yeah, let women do everything. Yeah. Let's nuke this country to smithereens, okay? But a woman that is truly confident, she doesn't need some bullshit like feminism, because she knows, okay, even if I'm being oppressed in some kind of way, even if society is trying to hold me down and tell me I have to do this, I have to do that, she don't have to listen to it. So I really think it's for just deeply insecure people, because it's not just women. There are plenty of male feminists. If you can even count that ballsack. I don't anymore. I think that ballsack is out. But, like, there are just so many people that they're so insecure, and that's why they go along with these political ideologies that promise to be solutions. But a lot of these problems that we have in our society are because of modern thinking. But, you know, there are bad men out there. I'm not trying to deny there are bad men, but feminism's not going to solve that problem at all, because what feminism does is it discourages men from being masculine. And it's similar to, like, you know, that saying, the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. It's very true to, like, you know, if you got some piece of shit that's, like, hurting you or stalking you, or just a really fucked up dude, it's like you want a protective dude to, like, take care of your ass, you know? You don't want, like, a bunch of women. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that might seem like it makes sense to feminists because, like, they want to usurp the patriarchy or whatever the fuck. But that's not actually what they're doing. Like, just to let you know, I don't know why feminists will be watching this channel, but maybe she's self-deprecating or something. But, like, she's just another comedian. But, like, if you're watching this and you, like, are under the impression that feminism is a positive thing for society, just know that you are being used. This whole ideology, I call it that for a reason. It's for pawns. Like, all these people are pawns. Like, women, LGBT people, black people, they're all being used as pawns. And that's why so many of them are on pharmaceuticals. They all believe in pharmaceuticals, and pharmaceuticals have every intention of morphing us and destroying us. And so, you know I sound crazy, but fighting will always be there. Okay? I think that women are really doing themselves a disservice because, you know, I am not traditional at all. Like, the way that I live my life is not traditional. But that doesn't mean that I don't still have feminine qualities, you know? I'm very, very in touch with that empathic, compassionate side. And I think that's why, like, I make the very insensitive, hyperbolic statements, because I'm so frustrated that people don't really have empathy, and they don't really care about situations, and they don't really want to stop violent behavior. They just want to be right. They just want to be right. They're so obsessed with their stupid fucking politics, and I think everybody's politics are stupid because they're not mine, damn it, okay? If you don't have my politics, I think you're stupid. How about that, okay? This is my channel, I can say whatever the hell I want. So, people that are so obsessed with their politics, they can't wait for some tragedy so they can make some political point. And these people disgust me. They disgust me because they don't actually care about any of these issues. They don't care about dead kids in a school. They don't care about aborted fetuses. They don't care about dead soldiers. They definitely don't care about veterans. They don't care about the environment. It's all about making some fucking political statement. And if they really wanted to make a political statement, the best way to do that is to live your life in a way that reflects your beliefs. Not... What is she doing? What is she doing? Alright. She's making a lot of noise over there. She is a cat, though. That's what they do. They always have to draw attention to themselves in some kind of way. They're a lot like women. Only they're actually funny, right? But anyway, a lot of the left, the reason why feminism is really taken off is because the left is like obsessed with trying to change things that can't be changed. Okay? So what's interesting about modernity and all that is that it has changed us in a lot of ways. It's changed the way that we live, obviously, but that's rewired us. And it. What? Come on. It's rewired us, and it's sort of like morphed us into these, like unsatisfiable creatures. And that's why you got so many men that act like women now, and like all these political movements have taken off in relation to identity. Yeah, it's because people are not satisfied, and they keep chasing the thing that's not satisfying them. And so I would say that feminism is similar to, just how modernity will pretend to solve problems that it doesn't actually solve. It just creates more problems. Because now we're reliant on technology that might fail us. And like what we're seeing right now with this fucking snowstorm, it's like, people are worried about the grid, and they're worried about their power and everything like that. But, the Amish had this shit right. They're not relying on any of that stuff because they can take care of themselves. They're not relying on a fucking system to take care of them. And feminism doesn't actually empower women at all. Like, it does not encourage women to be self-aware. It doesn't encourage women to be self-sufficient. It's all about women, like, pretending that they're going to change the world. So, while I probably seem like I kind of represent this whole DIY approach, and I do, but it doesn't have anything to do with being a woman. But I know how it will come across, because women are always being used as pawns. We're always being used as, like, political talking heads. So, like, if we're not making babies and we're not, being submissive wives and all that, it's like we're going to be used to push this like social change that's going to advocate for more government, because women aren't, I don't think that women are like wanting to take care of themselves. I don't think that that's, okay, birth control, it's a fine example. Birth control and abortion. So like if you really wanted women to be empowered because of their bodies, you would encourage them to pay attention to their menstrual cycles. You would encourage them to like be able to track when they start ovulating and all that. But that's not what they're encouraging them to do. They're encouraging them to get on pills or IUDs or whatever the fuck that will do everything for them. So, with Section 8 housing, in order to qualify for Section 8 housing, there can't be a man in the house, okay? So that's another fine example of that. How they're encouraging women to do it wrong so they can get government money. And then these motherfucking whores can pretend that they're self-sufficient. They're living off the damn government. They're living off the damn government, but they want to pretend there's some strong, independent woman. And most of these people are black. Okay, we don't need to say it, but yeah, let's just say it anyway. Fuck it. Let's be racist. But yeah, it's like all of this stuff isn't actually helping anybody. And if you have this whole like political ideology that's designed to pretend to solve problems that it never solves, then yeah, you're just going to need more and more of that. It's perfect for like the Democrat way of looking at everything, because like they don't want to be self-sufficient. And I don't even know if I made the point that I was trying to make, but yeah, like I just think it's funny like how little people notice. So I used to be really liberal, and then I couldn't help but notice that those policies didn't work, and a lot of the things that those people claim to believe in, like they really don't. They really don't. I think a lot of people, not just Democrats, but I think like people just want to be relevant, and they want to feel important. And it's their narcissism. It's just like my mom, like frantically sending me text messages about the weather, because she feels like she's in control. Like if she sends me a text message this fucking long about the weather, then she has this like bullshit feeling of control. That she did everything that she could to try to protect me from the weather machine, So like, I get it. Like I get why she's like that. She's a boomer. And like all these boomers are like that. They're obsessed with control, and the news media gives them this sense of control. This false feeling of we got this, we got this, we got this. Damn JFK. But yeah, it really was that. Like that event, like totally warped them. And now they're glued to that damn TV. So that's all it takes, you guys. That's all it takes is some political event like that that's real traumatic to really like shake people. And I remember that shit with 9/11. I remember that day walking through my high school and it was completely silent. I'll never forget that shit. But, like that's why they say never forget. As if anybody that experienced that day could fucking forget that shit. Fuck whoever created that saying. See, it's shit like that. It's shit like that. It's everything that's wrong with America. They have to like make a thing out of something that fucking tragic and horrific. Never forget. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. I can never forget the 3,000 people in my fucking country were burned alive because of this fucking government. I'll never fucking forget that shit. Fuck you. Anyway. See, there's another tangent for you. Let's drink some coffee. I love my channel, damn it. I love it. I love it, dude. I can't wait to watch this video. I crack myself up. But no. I guess a lot of people do forget though. Maybe I'm getting offended. I'm taking it personally, but maybe other people forgot 9/11, but not me, damn it. Not me. Well, it's interesting though that whole event is what triggered the mobile phones. That whole event is what triggered the Patriot Act. So, okay, let's track everybody. Let's track everybody. Let's put people under mass surveillance. Let's put an outrageous amount of security in the damn airport. Let's do that. Let's do that. So, it's like all of these things are for the purpose of triggering more of the opposite of everything this country stands for. Okay, they're using all this stuff as some kind of pawn, you know. So terrorism. Okay, they can easily warp people into thinking like, okay, I'll give up my freedom. Okay, I'll do that. I'll give up my constitutional rights as long as you pretend that you're going to protect me. Okay. I am kind of a libertarian. I mean, I'm more of an anarchist, but there's a term for it called agorism, and that's all about like applying the libertarian philosophy in your own personal life, and really practicing what you preach, which hardly anybody does. The reason why nobody knows about agorism is because it's all about practicing what you preach. So, the person that came up with this philosophy in the 70s, you know, he was thought to be really extreme. But yeah, it's extremists that get things done, though. It's extremists that actually live by their principles, you know? And it's everybody else, it's all these plebeian sheep that keep insisting, oh, no, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to do what you believe in. That's ridiculous to actually stand by your own ethics. You know, why would you do that, you know? Let's keep trusting politicians that probably are getting sucked off by an 8-year-old. Let's keep trusting them because they're the ones that are supposed to take care of us. They're the ones that are supposed to protect us. That's why all these parents are really mad because of what's that fucking critical race theory. They're mad because of critical race theory, and they're mad because of the hormone blockers and like all this stuff that's being pushed in the public schools. You're a fucking idiot because you put your kid into school. You're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. You're not even a fucking parent. I shamed my parents the whole time that I was going to school. Like, okay, I don't know if I've told you guys this story, but this one time we had some idiot bus driver, female of course, and she had no idea where she was going. She did this for one day, and I never saw this bitch again. But like, she didn't know where she was going, and I didn't get home till like after like 5:30. I was supposed to be home by like, I think 3. And yeah, I didn't get home till like after 5:30. My mother was like calling everybody. She was calling the police. She was calling the school board because she was freaking out. And you want to know what? Blah, 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 blah. I'm very passionate about this one. You can tell. You want to know what I said to her when I came home? I was like, dude, like, this is what you get. This is what you get. You trusted the government. You put me in a government school, and you put me on the fucking bus. It's like, I mean, I always think that. Every single time. Like, I would get on the bus. And I think this every single time that I pass the bus stop. And I see kids getting on the bus. I'm like, what if that bus driver is a terrible person and they have really bad intentions and, like, you just don't know, dude. You just don't know. And that's crazy that, like, parents like, trust their kids with the government? Ugh. So you got these Republican parents that are mad because their kids are learning to hate themselves for being white. You got these Democrat parents that are mad because, oh, somebody might come in with a firearm. So they want all these policy changes, but it's a parenting problem. You're the one that trusts the government to take care of your children. You're a fucking idiot. You're an idiot. Like, you shouldn't even have kids. Like, you should, like, now I'm really going at it. Like, a lot of these people, they just shouldn't breed. They shouldn't be allowed to breed. They should be sterilized, okay? Now, I don't really believe in this, okay? I don't really believe in sterilization because if you don't know this about me already, I am really, really opposed to medical interventions, okay? Really opposed to that, really opposed to pharmaceuticals, but I'm also really opposed to irresponsible breeding, okay? In fact, I think that irresponsible breeding is a major problem in our society, especially our country. You know, China has it right, okay? I don't think it's right to, like, limit the amount of kids that people have because that's their decision to have kids and all that. But the thing is, I look at your average American family and I'm like, barf, you know? And you can say that I'm just cynical because I don't have that. I don't want that, honey. I don't want that. I would barf all over it if I fucking had that shit. Okay? Bye. Bye-bye. Thanks for playing. No, it's fucking annoying. Most parents aren't parents. They suck. And I know it's easy for me to say this because I'm not a parent. I mean, but that's why. Like, I don't trust myself to be a parent. Like, I just don't. I wish that more people were like me. And they were like, wow, I probably am going to suck at this gig, so maybe I should avoid it. I think that people that are more aware of their own ability to make mistakes and their own, like, fallibility or whatever, I think those people would make way better parents. Because they are at least willing to admit that they're wrong and they've, you know, had bad opinions at some point. I mean, look at all these people that they just think they're right about everything. Okay. Don't you love this fascist regime that I'm creating? If you like social media, you shouldn't be a parent. There you go. This is good. If you enjoy social media, if you go on Twitter or you go on Facebook or Instagram and you yell at total strangers, you should not be a parent. I think this is a good rule. Wouldn't you say? I think it's a really good rule. Because I think there's something really wrong with people that enjoy yelling at strangers about political shit. I would say there's something really, really, really messed up. And I wish that narcissists weren't allowed to breed. But they are, because this is America and this is the most narcissistic place in the world. So it really benefits the motherfuckers that are selling us products that don't do what they say. It benefits those people because all these motherfuckers are so fucking gullible and stupid, it's not even funny. So they'll keep popping pills that destroy their humanity, and they'll keep watching TV with a bunch of actors and actresses that are raping children. They'll keep voting for people that are also doing that. They'll keep putting their kids in schools where they're not being taught diddly squat. And that's always been the case, by the way. I'm actually glad that all this stuff with fucking CRT exists, because it's proving that, yeah, this country cannot be trusted. This country is always feeding children a bunch of lies. So, I know I probably sound like a total cunt saying that. I don't want anything bad to happen to these children, but at the same time, it's like their parents fucking suck. And like, this is what you get for trusting the government. Anyway, hope to lose a few more subscribers.